Hey adventurers! Well, we've just arrived back from our deserty trip, 5,000 kilometres into South Australia over 10 days with the main objective of beating a Googs track, which was really good. One of the most common questions I get is something about my gear or the bike and its setup, and so I thought I'd do a quick video on what I took, what worked, what didn't. Let's have a look. Okay, so first of all, let's have a look at gear. First thing, I've got a new set of former Terra Evo boots. I have been using for years my City Crossfire ones since 2006, and I just changed them out now. These are no longer waterproof. They're just getting a bit long in the tooth, and I thought it was time to change them. So I've tried the new Terra Evo boots. Very comfortable to wear. They look good. Definitely not the protection of a motocross boot. You know, these things have this really stiff hinge assembly on the sides, and the Terra Evo is supposed to have a bit more ankle support than the normal city adventure boots, but it's, I don't know, I guess it sort of adds a bit of stiffness, but it's not great. I don't know if they're worth the $100 extra than the former adventure boots. Yeah, but anyway, that's what I got, and they were good for the trip. I just wouldn't put quite as much faith in them as I have my City Crossfires for all these years. I don't think they'll stand the test of time, but yeah, they were good for this trip. So then, I guess if we work our way up, I wear motocross pants. I don't have adventure pants. I think adventure pants are really expensive. So I just have motocross pants. Then I have knee armour over the top. These are the Thor MX. They've got the floating cup kneecap. They're really good. These are, you know, the next best thing to a proper knee brace. I can't afford a proper knee brace. You know, what are they? $500–700 a side. These like $180 for the pair. I think even less, $150 for the pair. I know, you know, your knees are invaluable, but money is a limited resource. So yeah, I've been using these for quite a few years. They're just about due for replacement. The Velcro's trashed. The straps are just starting to come apart, but they have served me well. Hit the ground lots of times in them, and I've been really happy with them. These will give you quite a bit of you know, lateral stiffness. They stop that over extension on the front, and they're comfortable to wear. And I wear these on the outside of my motocross pants because, as I know you all comment, yes, I'm a hairy bastard. And these things irritate the crap out of me. And no, I'm not going to shave my legs so that I can wear good knee guards. I just wear them on the outside, and they do the trick really well. When it's raining, of course, that stuff's not waterproof. So when it's raining, I just got a size of, you know, extra large waterproof pants that I then put over the top. I wore that for the last 300 kilometres, last 200 kilometres home. The rest of the trip, they just stayed rolled up in my luggage. They're waterproof pants, roll up really small. They weigh nothing. They not only are waterproof, but they keep you warm. So then, let's shuffle this down. So I wear, like, you know, like a skins type top on the top that absorbs sweat and dries easily overnight. I wear body armour over that with you know, with a kidney belt and chest plate and back protector. Something decent. Again, this is a cheap one. I don't spend lots of money, but I feel pretty robust in this, and I've come off a bunch of times, and it has been great. No complaints whatsoever. I then put my waterproof liner over the top, and my Old Faithful I don't know, adventure-y jacket on the outside. And that has served me many years and has done really well. And in the summer, you know, I can zip off the sleeves. It's just mesh, so without the liner, it's really cool to wear, as in temperature-wise, and it does the job. I've been very happy with it. Then, in the past, this has got a pocket where I can put a bladder in, but this trip I didn't use that. I actually went and bought myself the USWE Ranger 9 backpack, which clips up, you know, like good backpacks do, and that was rock solid. I was really happy with this backpack. It's got lots of pockets. I've got all my memory cards and batteries sitting in this top pocket here. What do I have in here? I had some foodstuffs in this pocket. There you go, some beef jerky, a couple of muesli bars, just some, whatever's in that pocket. And then in the main body, it carries 3 litres, a 3-litre water bladder, which I'll take out for you. So yeah, 3-litre water bladder with a quick disconnect. Oh my god. 3-litre water bladder, which was, that was rock solid. And you know, there's enough room in there. There's still got a few muesli bars in there, and a bit of a stretchy pouch. The bladder sits in behind this zipper, and that is leaking everywhere. I'll take this out anyway because I've got to put it in the freezer. That's where I store my bladders, so that they don't grow mould. And I don't have to clean them. So yeah, that was probably the best purchase I've made in some time. I've been really happy with it. Okay, let's move on to my helmet, and then we'll move on to the cockpit of the bike. Okay, so here's the cockpit. I guess we'll start with the helmet that I have been raving about for some time. It's the Nishua Carbon Enduro, ultra light, ultra comfortable. It has been great. Couple of things, I guess, that I'm a bit worried about. I mean, the peak's been awesome, but this little wing thing on the back, it looks like, you know, when plastics are in the sun for a long time, they start to perish. It looks a bit like that. You know, it's faded. I sort of got to get some armour all on it. And I've got a chip out of there. This is how I've rolled this off the bloody seat a couple of times. I don't know why I keep doing that. And I think because I rolled it off the seat a couple of times, the peak actually where it's a C around the clamp, the top of the C-shaped part of the visor broke, and so it came loose. So I wore goggles for most of the trip with the visor off. But for the trip home on the freeway, I put the visor back on and I taped up this corner to hold it together. So it doesn't open currently, but I've got a clear visor. I'll put that on in the meantime, but I'll order another tinted visor. So yes, that broke. I haven't broken one of those before. I don't know if it's my fault. Don't know if it's a cheaper visor. Either way, I'm not too fussed. My Sony FDR X3000 mounted on the side with a microphone going into the helmet, as you should be well aware, and on the other side a center Bluetooth S20S, which hooks to everything. So that's that part. Here we've got my InReach Explorer. Just reading some discussion about Spot's coming out with a new one with a big QWERTY pad. Oh my god, what are they thinking? You want this part small, so I can type on this if I have to, but I just Bluetooth it to my phone. This is where my phone sits. I Bluetooth it to my phone, and then I type messages and texts and emails, and I can receive texts and emails via satellite to the phone or to the device, but it's much easier to work on the phone. And this is, of course, your equivalent of an EPIRB, the privatized EPIRB version with the SOS button for emergencies. I've done a review on that before. I wouldn't travel anywhere without it. It's bloody shit hot. UHF on this side, which connects via this is where your external walkie-talkie bit hooks. That then goes into a Sena SR10, and then that Bluetooths back to the helmet, so I can receive and make UHF calls via the helmet. Sometimes this is a little bit fiddly. I think if the SR10 or the 20S is connected to too many devices, they sort of interfere with each other. And sometimes I get some crackly, shitty audio, but if I connect this first and then I turn my phone Bluetooth on to listen to music, it all works fine. So I was actually able to talk to truckies and other bike riders as needed. My phone sits here. I use the phone as a GPS and a phone and navigation. I use that for everything. And in Australia, you've got a fair bit of phone reception whenever you hit a main highway. Obviously, in the outback, there is no reception. I'm now running, which I'm recording with a S9, Samsung Galaxy S9, and it's bloody unreal. And it uses the new USB-C, which is works. It plugs in easy. It just seems a lot more robust. So this cable goes into my tank bag. The tank bag is wired via this plug to the battery of the bike. In the tank bag, I have a little sort of electronics section at the front. Oh, it's a bit messy in here. So I've got parts to charge the UHF. I've got this is the Qualcomm quick charge into the phone, so the phone is always charged. And I'm also charging at night this Mi 20,000 milliamp battery, and it's being charged during the day when I'm riding, and when I pull up at night, I plug this into the the 20S and the camera, and I charge everything overnight. So I'm always charged. I never have battery issues. It works a treat. I also got my wallet, a towel, a tripod which broke on the last day. It's just because it's $1. You don't expect things like that to last too long. Some sunscreen, some insect repellent, my old drift camera which fell off the bike and fell to pieces, and some goggles. So they're the goggles I was wearing when the visor was off. So that's what's in the tank bag. Nothing too much, just basically electronic gear. So the bike has a 23-litre tank. Gives me about between 420 kilometres on the open freeway and 250 kilometres if I was stuck in the mud. that's not enough for the outback. One of our trips, on this trip, one of our legs was 535 kilometres and we had another one at 440 kilometres. The 535 included Googs track, which was sand dunes, all sand dunes. So we have to carry spare fuel. So I've been using these Desert Fox fuel bladders. I have been okay with them up to date. They're 5 litres. I put about 6 litres in them, no problem. You can pretty much fit 7 if you absolutely jam-packed it, but you know, you want a bit of room to play. They're easy to tie on. I've made up a little sort of harness here with some buckles. And then it's strapped down to the crash bar at the bottom. And this sits where the fuel is on the bike normally, and it's really comfortable. It's been great. So I've got one of these on each side. I also had one to strap on the back. I had it rolled up. I don't know if that's the problem, but when I went to fill it, it was split and it was leaking. So I turfed it. It's in the bin over in South Australia somewhere. Sorry, South Australians. So whilst I have sort of recommended these in the past, they're not completely robust. They are prone to failure. I don't know, maybe there's better options out there. Craig on our latest trip had a giant loop one that looked awesome. It seemed robust. It looked well built, but it was incredibly expensive. 8 litres capacity, and it was like 200 and something bucks. Man, giant loop, come on, help us out. It's tough when things are, you know, that much money. We're not all BMW riders. Well, here I am saying that on a KTM 1190. However, I spent everything I had on this bike. Another story. So the other thing is I had these clips. Now I know people bag me for having these clips. Several people pointed out that they're going to break. They're just for key rings, blah, blah, blah. Look, yes, I was going to swap them out, but then I thought about it, and we've got 5, maybe 6 litres of fuel, right? So 4, maybe 5 kilograms. Let's say there's a dynamic load of another 50%. Yeah, maybe I've got 10 kilos max over two of these clips. 5 kilos. They're gonna take more than 5 kilos, and that's a conservative estimate. They're not that piss weak. I haven't put one on official scale, but I know I've hung my body weight off 2 of these and they broke. So they didn't go ping straight away. They like they stretched and then they eventually snapped. And that's talking about, actually that was a lot more than my body weight, because there was my body weight and they were loaded on an angle. So maybe that was, if that was a 45-degree angle, that's basically twice your body weight, right? 1.4 times your body weight. Anyway, there was probably, I reckon these are good for 60 or 70 kilos. Maybe they're good for 50 kilos. They're not completely useless. Okay, let's see what's in these panniers. So the first thing I was carrying, which just sits on the back seat, my pannier strap just hooks through the loop on either side and it's held really well, is a Denali chair. It's like your Helinox sort of rip-off. Great. They weigh bugger all. A little bit bulky, I guess, but so comfortable around the campfire. Really good. Happy as Larry. So these are the Andy Straps soft panniers. Robust as anything. I have come off on these, come off the bike so many times on these, and these impact the ground. The bike's sitting on them. I drag the bike, whatever, up a cliff face, stand the bike up, and they've just been really robust. Very, very tough. Okay, so in this pannier, that's my tent fly. I have my cooking have some food, and I have my tent. That is my hammock tent. Whole review on that here. I love that. It's a little bit bigger than a normal. It's quite a bit bigger than a normal hammock, but it's bloody awesome. A little bit hard to get a hold of, I believe. Jeff from Maverick Gear. What are you doing, mate? People are asking me about this thing. Keep selling them. Yeah, food, and that's. I've got some garbage bags in there. So that's all that's in that pannier. Not a lot. So the pannier off the other side, which you'll see, is actually bigger than the. I'll put those two panniers side by side. This one has got a cut on the bottom. Actually, it's actually a little bit smaller, and that's because it sits above the exhaust. It's just how I preferred it. You can get two of the bigger panniers side by side. So in here I had some clothes. Probably took a few too many, but I'm not one for wearing the same pair of jocks for 2 weeks because I'm pretty sure it's bad for you. This is a sleeping bag liner. I just often use it as a blanket over the top. Again, probably a bit over the top, but that is a inflatable mattress. That is my -4 rated sleeping bag. Comfort -4, so that's it's quite a good one. And a pillow, inflatable pillow, and a spare pair of motocross pants. Now, I never used these never came out, but I carried them because if we got very muddy or wet, I didn't want to be riding around in wet motocross pants, so I bought a spare pair basically just in case. As it turned out, it was quite a dry trip, not really a problem. So this is my tail bag, which I got from Andy Straps also, and I tell you what, this was a really good purchase. I'm really happy with this tail bag. It opens up from the back. You can see I've got a spare pair of gloves there. It had well, you'll see what's in it. It's got a good sized pocket on either side, and it straps down to the bike without elastic. You know why I don't like elastic. And yeah, it's got a bit of whatever stretchy material there. It's a bit dusty. I have to give this thing a wipe down because I'm going to have this for a long time. I really like it. So a couple of gas canisters, a second mattress. So in the hammock, I do get a cold back on cold nights, so I had to carry 2 mattresses with me. I should really get one better quality inflatable mattress. That's what I should be carrying, but again, I'm cheap. So in here I had my pump, my air pump. Now, we used this lots of times on this trip. You'll see in the videos we had a few flat tire issues. What is this? Michelin brand? No, it's DPS. It's just a cheap one, but it's enclosed and it works really well. And I plug it into my 12-volt socket, and it does the trick. I also had several. I got a front tube and a rear tube. This one's got a hole in it, but it was a patchable hole, so I kept it. So tubes, my toolkit, which, did I do a video on my toolkit? Yeah, I did, before I left. So this came in really handy. This weighs a ton, but if something goes wrong, I mean, you need it. So what choice do you have? A good toolkit I think is pretty important, and knowing how to do things on your bike. Two very important things. And then a bunch of zip ties. So that's actually all that I had in the body, and in the side pockets, gaffer tape, some additional straps, electrical tape. Ah, that's a spare lid. And this side, I had my reef shoes. Thanks, Greg, for those reef shoes. I got them for free because someone didn't like them. I did heaps of walking, and then they were really good around the campsite. And I also have my second waterproof liner for my jacket. This is just a thin liner without any sort of insulation. In hindsight, I'll probably leave that at home. I really didn't need it. So finally, the bike itself. I've got the Motos Tractionator Adventure tyres on there. The back one is a bloody good tyre. Lasts a long time, lots of grip, feels good on the road. Very happy. I have just had my suspension redone, front and rear, by Cruise Tune. We were just local, and the suspension felt great. I was really happy with it. However, I did get a leaking fork seal, and I got that like on day 2. So I'm worried that there's a score on the shaft somewhere that they didn't pick up, and yeah, it leaked from like day 2. You know, I just rode up the highway, and first night camping, which was, you know, it was on dirt, but we'd ridden about 10 k's of dirt, and I noticed that it was leaking. So that was a bit disappointing. The front tyre is the Motos Tractionator Adventure number 2, and it's okay. It seems to grip pretty well. They just wear funny, you know. I don't know. Yeah, I was okay. I was okay with it. It certainly it did the job. I really liked, one of the other guys had the Motos the Desert HT tyres, and they looked really good for especially for the dirt and the sand. They looked just a really nice luggy pattern. I might even try them next. I don't know. We'll see. My B&B bash plate, it broke. It snapped. So I've got some welding to do. Yeah. That's only in the last few days. I think we did some pretty bloody rocky terrain. Took a few big hits, and it broke. But I would dare say it's been fatiguing for a little while. Yeah, probably asking a bit much of it on this massive bike. You're probably just not meant to, you know, smash into rocks and go off rock ledges and hit logs on a bike this big. But anyway, it did the job. My high fender and my own high fender mount bracket performed flawlessly. This bike should come with a high fender from stock. It's bloody awesome. My Rigid Industry driving lights, they are bloody awesome in the dark. We only really did dark. We're in the dark on the highway, so it wasn't too big an issue, but they are bloody awesome. These guys are getting back into their videos. It's exciting. And that's about it. I don't think there's anything else. Oh yeah, my fuel filter. So I was going to mention this. So this is the Googletech fuel filter system. This is the external filter that you can change. Up here in the in-tank filter was bloody good. You know, we're refilling. Sorry, I'm just gonna reshuffle that. We're refilling in the
in the sand from these bladders. You know, I'm pouring it out, and there's dust and there's shit everywhere, and it just goes into this filter sock. So this definitely slowed down my filling times. And I think I'm going to twist it in there and see if I can get it to work a little bit better. But it just alleviates all my fears of stuff dropping into the tank. Not that it means I'm careless, but it relieved a lot of worries.
Okay, well, that's pretty much everything. Hopefully that answers most people's questions, or I can direct them to this video when they've got questions about such topics. Yeah, I'll have videos up of this trip very shortly if you're watching this on day one. And if you're not watching on day one, they might already be up. So hopefully you enjoy the videos from this trip. Yeah, we'll get planning for the next one. I think it's going to be Simpson Desert again next year. We're feeling pretty confident on the sand. We need something to sort of crush our spirits, and the Simpson is the track to do it. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed everything. Keep watching and subscribe, I guess. I gotta crack that 10,000 at some point. Come on, come on. No, of course, you know I don't care about subscribers. Anyway, thanks a lot. Talk to you later. Bye.